right, you guys. It is now, what time is it? I think it's 9 o'clock here and 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, depending on where you guys are calling in from. And I appreciate your time today. This is 12-Step Road, and I'm Jennifer Bagley with CI Web Group. And today we're going to be talking about how to make your website interactive and how to communicate and engage each individual. A lot of times websites tend to be driven strictly by content. Now, this is a double-edged sword. You guys have heard me in our prior trainings talk about search engine optimization and how content is king, and it absolutely is. But I want to make sure there's a very clear difference. Right now we're looking at a website that we just launched for Barbara Gilbert Interior Designs, and I also have a website that we're getting started, and I wanted to pick these two because they're in the same industry. So we also have Randy DeStefano, and these are both interior designers, but this site has not been done yet, and I wanted to use this as an example because this is typically what's going to be seen when you're looking at somebody's site. When you are visiting a website or looking at your own site, it's important to be able to evaluate from a look and feel how quickly it allows you to make a decision, how quickly it represents specific areas of service or specific individuals who you may market to. And we've got to remember that in our business, it's not just about who the ideal client is, but it's also about referral partners, strategic partners, and alliances that may help promote and grow your business as well. So when you're in a conversation with a web company and you're trying to prioritize and decide, it's very important that you have different representatives that are each guiding and coaching you in each area. And they should. A subject matter expert is going to fight for their area. What I mean by that is, if you are talking to an SEO engineer is strictly going to be focused on search engine optimization, content, on-page optimization, off-page optimization, the frequency of content, the labeling of content, and so forth. However, when you're in a conversation with the designer is going to want clean lines, very clear, easy to read messages, great pictures with very little content. When you're talking to a developer is not going to care about either. In fact, they'll do a great functional website with great architecture, hopefully object-oriented, built in a content management system, and they're going to fight for that just as well. And when it comes down to social media and you're talking to a social media expert, they're going to be very, very, they're going to hold a strong position about the interactivity within your website, how easily it is to be able to follow you on social media sites, share content, refer, like, comment plus, Google plus, and so forth. All of them have an extremely important role in this process, and that's why it's very difficult, if not impossible, to find a single individual that can make sure all of the things that are necessary are done properly. And we're not even talking about the infrastructure as far as server and the technical infrastructure of the hosting and maintenance and support and upgrades and so forth. So, that being said, I challenge you to make sure that when you're getting input and advice that you clearly identify who is this individual, what are they as subject matter expertise, and give it a grain of salt. Simply because each individual is going to hold their area in very, very high regard. For example, if you were to pick up the phone and you were to talk to one of our mobile app developers, mobile apps are everything. It's the wave of the future. They can give you numbers, where we're going, where mobile is trending. They can tell you how many people are accessing applications from their mobile device. And in fact, they may even tell you that it's more important than a website. If you talk to anyone on our mobile app team, that's going to be the presentation. If you talk to anyone on our video production team, if you get on, they're going to talk about video and people's attention spans and your ability to see, hear, and how that increases your comprehension level and so forth. And they are going to have an extremely powerful presentation as to why video marketing is the way to go, it's what to do, and so forth. If you talk to a designer, same thing. So I'm telling you this because this is important, and it is important to get guidance and to be able to evaluate and prioritize where you want to focus your efforts. And each salesperson or presenter or subject matter expert that is a subject matter expert within one of the particular areas of marketing is going to have an extremely compelling story as to why what they do is more important than everything else. I'm here as a business strategist and corporate coach to really help guide and prioritize each one of those areas or each one of those investments or each one of those activities. And to help kind of make some sense as far as what you need to focus on first. Now, we've talked a little bit about this in the past, but I want to revisit the fact that depending on where you are, depending on your budget, depending on how long you've been in business, how large a client base, how large of infrastructure you have internally, how many salespeople, how many customers, whether you have a product or a service, and so forth, whether you've built a fan base, whether you have engagement or you have a fan base but no engagement. I also want to throw this out there. When you are getting advice or when you're going to a presentation or you're going to a speaking engagement and there's a powerful speaker and they're on stage and they're telling you what to do and this is how you need to do it and it's so exciting and you come out there and you're just ramped up and ready to go. Just remember this. In order to be properly advised, the educator has to be properly educated. And the only way to do that is through a consultation. So the only way to do that is through a consultation with a proper kind of individual who can evaluate more than just one area. And they have subject matter expertise in each of the areas that they can bring in to be able to really, really hone in. Here's another example. We have a social media department, and this week we have 2 new social media guys that are starting on the team. Our thought process, our mentality when we're hiring these subject matter experts is we're here to learn. So we have certain processes and procedures that we go through and activities that we do with our clients. However, when a new subject matter expert comes in a particular area, it's our turn to step back and listen and learn. And this is really important. I ask that each of you, when you're coming to the trainings, show up, suit up, and participate. And that simply means show up, attend the conferences, or at least get in the recorded versions. If you're attending this for the first time, this is our little intro, but you're going to go to 12steproadmap.com. Make sure to register. You'll get notifications as well as you'll get the recordings afterwards, and you can also access them via the webinars page on 12steproadmap.com. All right. Design. I want to separate. We've talked about building a website. We've talked about SEO and so forth, but I want to really, really separate this and make sure this is extremely clear. Your efforts that you have when it comes to content creation, blogging, social media posting, I want you to think of it like a fishing reel. And I happen to be sitting out here on our houseboat in Seattle, Washington, tossing a fishing line in. By the way, I caught a fish last night. I was so excited. Okay, but anyway, think of it like a fishing line. That's your hook. That's your bait, right? You're throwing it out into this big pond, this big sea, and hopefully have some compelling information that is going to be able to lure someone back to your webpage. Again, it is going to lure someone back to your website. Now, depending on where this content is coming from, let's say you just have a generic post and you say, hey, and check us out at barbaragilbertinteriors.com or yourwebsite.com, and you send them to your homepage. When they get to your homepage, some important key elements are obviously you want a phone number. Easy to read phone number. You also want to have some type of a call to action box. So there's a few ways to do this. Let me pull this up. This will give you a good example. If you go to DFW Security, this is a great example of an instant call to action the second you get to the web page. And more than one. You'll notice you have login for existing customers, you have a phone number, you have a contact us, you have a we'll call you have a live chat, you have a learn more, you have a slideshow that's presenting different options with a call to action on each slideshow. Notice I've scrolled nowhere on the site, and I instantly have multiple ways to be able to contact this company. Now, for Barbara's site, this is a design site, so she definitely wanted to keep it more elegant and more classy, but you can still accomplish the same thing. When you get to the site, you've got to call us. You have your social media icons, which are more for the fence sitters. Contact us. And then easily you're moving into different areas. And notice the areas are represented with images, with a heading, and a small amount of text. Sometimes we over-text a website. So if we look, and we need that, but not on your homepage. All right, so if we look at this site, which I'm so excited because you can see it before and after. If we're looking at Randy's site, we have an image, we have one header, and notice the header is pretty generic, where life and design comes together, and then we quickly move into text. Now, if I know most of the people that would come to this site, this often becomes disenchanting as soon as you get there. And Randy's so excited to get a new design for her site. But there's a big difference. So if you want to check out services, furniture, design, or find out what a Dewey Color Specialist is, now notice we go into the Just For You section. So this may be customers or strategic partners. You want to really be able to outline and identify what are the key elements that you need on that home page. And it's going to start by identifying who is your customer. Many times when we're identifying, who do you specialize in, sometimes people will say everyone, anyone who needs this. What we really want to do is we want to narrow it down and have a very, very clean and clear focus based on who they are and what they're interested in. Who they are and what they're interested in. And have content that specifically talks to them. So if you're an architect or a builder or a realtor, a homeowner, or a business owner, it's very, very easy. If I'm a business owner and I come to this site, I may instantly say, I think all she does is interiors, or not know what it does. The kitchen, baths, and more. Whereas if I come here, I can instantly go homeowners, architects, builders, business owners. Then people are graphic. So giving them what I said is who they are and what they're interested in. So now driving into bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, specialty spaces, outdoor spaces, living areas, and so forth. Next, you want to be able to attract those who would rather watch a video than read an article. And so you want to make sure that you have a good balance and a good mix of images versus video, call to action, and content. Again, we move down into download our free ebook, 10 free smart tips for smart homes, why our clients love us, for testimonials, and then we go into very specific links which will be used for SEO, awards, and then down here, again in the footer, we're using this area for a call to action, for validation and certifications, also the Just For You section, the specialty spaces, and quick links to the home pages. So I'm going to move over to DFW security because there's some examples on here as well. When you come to this site, instantly you know exactly what they do simply through their slideshow. So again, people are visual, so very clear. Energy management. We'll go through each one of these. Video monitoring, basic security, alarm monitoring, landlines and wireless, smart security, and then again, back through. Each one has a call to actions. It's only 4 slides, but it explains a lot. Then we drill into each one of these: home security, video monitoring, energy management, home automation. Why you'll love us? Because of our experience, our people, and our technology, making life simple, safe, and smart. We drill into even further those people who are interested in more information on fire protection, wellness, garage door, tamper resistant, emails and text alerts. Again, we use video tutorials, social links, and finally, the footer is used very carefully for additional calls to actions. Now, as you drive into, so from a design standpoint, let me just really, really stress this. Who are you speaking to, and what are their individual needs? And it has to be as simple as a graphical image, a heading, and a short piece of text with a drive into an interior page that has more information. And this is extremely important for conversions. The challenge is if you spend your time driving traffic or using that bait and hook, and you're spending your time creating content and doing SEO and posting to social media sites, and they come to the site, and the second they're at that site, they're confused, they're uninterested, they're bored, they're not sure where to go, they're not sure what you do. It looks like you or your son or your niece or nephew may have built the website, or that it's not a professional company. All of these things are being weighed very heavily, and they're all happening in somebody's mind within less than 3 seconds. That being said, interior pages, so you have the framework. Your home page has to be who you're speaking to and what their specific needs are. And if you find yourself, again, in an instance where you'll do business with anyone, if they breathe and need water to live, then you'll do business with them. That's not going to work in this situation. So think of it like a stair step or a ladder or a pyramid or a building platform. You've got to build a foundation, and in a business, especially in whether you're large or small. From a marketing standpoint, it's got to be bootstrapped. But unless you have unlimited resources and funds to throw at the project, the goal is identify a small subset of consumers that you want to go after, a small subset of products or services that you want to bring to the marketplace. Go after it with full force, putting everything you have into content generation, a perfect conversion strategy, which is the overall design, and your fishing rods, your hooks, your lures. And that's going to be search, social, and a little bit of mobile. Secondarily, you are going to have landing pages. So each on the home page, each one of the who you are or what you need is going to drive you to a service page, most likely, or a resources or an informational pages. For example, how do you service realtors, or how do you service a particular company that may be a good referral source for you. Next, when they're in an interior page, consider this a sales page. This page is specifically designed to educate someone and have them make an instant decision. Your goal is to communicate information in the most simplest form and make it easy for someone to do business with you. And you can tell that a lot of that happens in the design. Now, let me back up and address this, because sometimes I know this is a question when I do workshops. If your budget is tight, the goal would be start with an amazing homepage and have a custom designer build or design each interior page over time. So let's say you bought a 5-page website and you want to add additional pages, and you notice when you log into your WordPress and you go to add a page, it looks very plain and boring. It's simply text on a page, maybe with a heading and an image. And you really want this to be a sales page, something that converts, it sells, it works for you. Then you can simply have a design team. For example, somebody might have us design 5 pages, and next month they make a little money, and they send over more pages to design. Our corporate clients, for example, DFW Security, has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages. Every single week we get a new submission with new pages that we custom design for them, each individually. So this would be a little bit difficult for someone who was not a developer to be able to design a page to look like this, and that's fine. It's not expensive, and it's extremely profitable to have each page on your website independently designed to sell and convert. So here you'll notice we have this could be done in a text space, but having a checklist on your website that is doing comparisons against other products, other services, different packages that you may have internally, and so forth, is going to be a great way to be able to communicate information. You'll notice on here, this is the perfect set. We've got images and graphics. We've got smart headings. We have a financial call to action. We've got a very quick and easy checklist. Drive into a video that explains the entire smart security system. We have a Get Started Now and the ability to comment on Facebook. On the right-hand side, we'll call you, make it easy for them. I love that they wrote that. Instead of saying for a free consultation, they simply said, we'll call you. Put your information, we'll call you, no problem. Next, they have their call to actions on their primaries. Remember the 4 slides in the front and the 4 call to actions? Again, those are repeated. On the right sidebar, energy management, home automation, and video monitoring. We'll go through, we'll pick another page, and on here you may see pages that have been custom designed and may see pages that have not been. I already picked that one. Let's go through. Oh, no, I didn't. So, same format. I love that they have the same format. On this one, nice checkbox, custom design. They have learned more with each individual area pulled out, and each one of these goes to a new page that specifically talks about each one of these call to actions. Then we have a simple graphical view of how it works. In everyone's business, there is some type of 1, 2, 3 or ABC. And really, that's what people need. They need the 1, 2, 3. They need the ABC. My version, and I know it, I'm guilty of this constantly. I am using acronyms and speaking in a language where somebody will stop me and go, you lost me, stop. And so you really want to be able to break things down and make it easy. When somebody comes to your site, what do you want them to do? I'm going to go look at another site, Get Fit with Barbie. She did a really good job on her sliders. She has a great testimonial and information, a Read My Story area. Then she also has joined my next 30-day online fit challenge. She has an instant ebook that she's made available for download to be able to capture names and email addresses. Then she simply wants them to either go to the blog, take the challenge, become a coach, or check out the Shakeology recipes. Now we're going to go to Siggy Khalif, and we're going to go look at the same thing with this one. So as soon as you get here, it's very important. He wants the steps, nutrition, and results. And so these were the three process. What are the steps? Let's talk about nutrition, and what are the actions that are necessary to be able to get results. Quickly goes into a video, the ability to book an appointment, download the exclusive tips, latest events, client testimonial rotator, and again, down to your newsletter. So when you're looking at your site, I want you to think for a moment and count the number of call to actions that you have on your site and think about how easy is it for somebody to contact you, not based on how you like to be contacted, but how they want to contact you. So whether it's social media sites, a quick contact form, I just want to subscribe to a newsletter, and so forth, and that's going to really help as well. All right, with that, we have a few minutes. Let me jump back over on Uber Conference. While I have you, does anybody want to paste your website address, or do me a favor, paste your website address over in the right-hand side where the chat box is, and I'd be happy to take a look at your website and give you some insight, input, or advice as we go through this as well. All right, and I'm going to type in here. There's where you can post this as well. All right, let me just make sure my screen share is still on. Perfect. Now, I've showed you a few websites as far as overall design. Let me switch over to SEO for a moment. From a design standpoint, you're looking at creating custom sales pages for each of your primary products or service. Now, when it comes to your blog writing, those are your lures. So those are what's going to be necessary to throw content out to this sea of individuals who are asking questions, trying to get informed, and trying to do research on your product or service. So we've talked a little bit last week about search engine optimization on short tail key phrases. And I'm going to spend the last few minutes talking and just getting you prepped for next week's session, which is on long tail marketing as well as tailgate marketing, and that's what we'll be talking about next week. But I want you to start thinking about what are the questions. If you had a customer and they were in the research mode, they were starting to evaluate and do research, they don't know about you. They don't know your company exists, but they have questions and they're not sure where to go. Think about yourself as a consumer. You're a researcher. We all are. We're in a day and age where technology gives us the ability to do research. We compare products, we compare brands, we compare services, we compare competitors. We try and get reviews, information. We try and evaluate costing and pricing and warranties and length of service and experience. There's a ton of different information that we're collecting as a consumer. So in preparation for next week's training, what I recommend is I want you to take time to make a list of, let's do two things. Let's first off go through your website, and I want you to list out the number of call to actions on your site and just make some notations on where you think you need improvement. If you guys are interested in a consultation, please go to jenniferbagley.com or 12steproadmap.com or ciwebgroup.com and just fill out the free consultation request. I'd be happy to get on the phone with you and have a one-on-one consultation to go through your particular situation and give you some examples on where we can really make a big difference. And sometimes this is just planning. Your online marketing strategy, your website should never be a one and done. If you feel like I bought a website a year ago or 2 years ago and that's what I needed to do, that is the wrong mentality to have. You should be thinking about constantly improving, modifying, growing, expanding, changing every element within this website forever and ever and ever. If you're sitting inside a WordPress or a content management system, the great part is you never have to get a new website. All you have to do is continue to upgrade and and add new design elements and upgrade your theme and so forth, but you never have to get a new website, ever. I actually met people that have said, I got a new website because my last web company sucked. Like, well, you got a WordPress site. You could have just got a new theme. So, or done a redesign on it. But usually if it's not working, that's grounds for moving anyway. But bottom line is this is a dynamic process. This is like your wardrobe. It's like your closet. You're not wearing the same clothes you had 20 years ago. You don't just buy 10 outfits and call it a day. This is constant evolution. You should always be investing in improving, even if it's by page, literally page by page by page. DFW Security, this is the fourth iteration that we've done of their website. And it's about every 18 months, every 12 to 18 months, their website gets better and better and better. Now, last time we built one, I was looking at it saying, how are we going to top this? Now I'm looking at this one and saying, how are we going to top this? Because this website is hot, 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 hot. So, I mean, that's what you want to be doing, constantly changing. So start off by making a list of what are the call to actions you have on your site currently, what are the areas that really stand out to you as needing assistance in, and then if you want to sit down and have a consult, go to our site, fill out the form, and we'll start there. And the second thing to do is, hopefully, last week you already finished making a list of all your short tail key phrases. Those are 1, 2, or 3 phrase words that are your primary product or services searches. Those are the most difficult searches, and that is placing your website when somebody is in the buying stage. And then in preparation for next week, you're going to make a list of what are all of the questions. And if you need to pick up the phone and call a customer and ask them, if you were researching a product or service like mine, what would you be researching? And, use this as an opportunity to reach out to some clients and ask them instead of just trying to take that and look yourself. That information that you get from a customer who's in the process of shopping, researching, evaluating, and so forth, products or services or individuals within your primary marketplace or industry, that's the most valuable information you can get. Better than Google Analytics is better than anything because those individuals are giving you real data. It's not intermixed with a bunch of competitor searches and marketer searches and so forth, which muddies the water when it comes to evaluating key phrases and so forth. Those questions are going to become your long tail phrases. We're also going to be talking about how do you leverage your competitors' blog posts, content, products, services, and marketing dollars to be able to grow your business. And that is what we have in store for next week. Perfect. We want to work on e-learning systems. Ms. Mary, how are you? I know you're on mute. Fantastic. Let me use this as an example. Let me go ahead and pull up e-learning systems real quick. And this will be our last review. So elearningsystems.org. So as soon as we get here, we've got a call, we've got contact information, we have share buttons. That is great. Then we move into more informational, learn from the web just for fun. So we have information and games. So right off the bat, unless you have a free demo, but right off the bat, it doesn't necessarily say what it is, why they're there, who they serve. So what I would want to see, and we're not using enough of the real estate. So the great part is you have unlimited real estate going down, and so you want to be able to leverage every piece of real estate on this website. So what I may say, let's see here, is instead of putting solutions for, let me back up. So now I just saw solutions for aquariums, educational science centers, museums, and zoos. I would very quickly add a call to action for each one. So it would be just for you or solutions for, and it would have a call to action for each one of those individual areas. For your products, same thing. When we're on this home page, we want to clearly, very, very clearly identify each one of these. So each one of these, instead of just being a drop-down, which can get easily missed, is I would have a call to action section, maybe have it look like an educational center or a chalkboard that has each one of those areas. Maybe if you hover over it, it spins and it will take you to that particular area. But each one of these, you've got one page per product already outlined. Let's see here. So the only thing still is it's labeled products, but it's difficult to know what it is. Is it an image gallery? Is it a course? Is it a class? Is it something I register for? Now, I know more about this business, so I'm obviously playing a consumer that has no clue and doesn't know you. But as soon as we get here, we've got to know, what does this do? Am I supposed to register for something? What am I? Because from here, it looks more like it's a product, but all it is images or pictures, and so it's more of a gallery, and that might be something that we can create more clarity to. Then we go into products, and we've got games and activities. So we have start the game, start coloring, start the expedition. I like that. What I'm noticing is that there's not a lot of, we're not collecting other people's information. This is almost one-way marketing. One-way marketing is where we post all our information, but we're not capturing other people's information. So I would use the space much differently, possibly use a right-hand sidebar, that is, get a consultation, sign up to be a consultant, become a tutor, enroll your child, homeschoolers. I would go through and really give them an opportunity to be able to fill out information. You can do that leveraging on an interior page. You can use that leveraging a right sidebar or leveraging a footer area as well. Teachers and resources. Now, did I get... Hang on just a second. So this one, I think this is titled Field Trip Extensions, but the page is titled Teacher Resources. I actually thought that I clicked on the wrong page, so we want to make sure our page titles and our meta titles and our permalinks, there's some congruency in between those, because here it can get people, we've got products and services, lesson plan materials, then it's teacher resources, then it's web lessons, teacher resources, but the label of the page is Field Trip Extensions. So we just need to really, really create a lot of clarity in between those and make sure that they don't think that they clicked on the wrong page and can't get back to that. Next one, Internet Challenge. And it moves them into there as well. So same thing. I mean, I think there's a lot of missed opportunities on the site as far as collecting people's information and having a discussion. And if you're wanting to do consults or get people enrolled, that may be something that's necessary as well, but it would give you a database to start marketing to. Your footer area, maybe download our mobile app, sign up for a consultation or get started now or learn more. And then on the left-hand side, you may have download our ebook or sign up for our newsletter or sign up to receive blog posts or weekly educations or something. But I definitely would break it down. Are you a student? Are you a child? Are you a teacher? Are you a parent? Are you an aquarium, an educator, or a science center, a museum, or a zoo? Basically, it's taking the thought process of the navigation and really, really designing a front end that makes it extremely clear for people to get to the right place very quick and know who you are, what you do, how it best services them, and if it's the right fit, and how do they get in touch with you quickly. Hopefully that's a little bit helpful. I don't have a ton of time to go through that, but we need... Love you, Mary. You're great. Is this theme workable? Let me go see. How old is the theme? I would need to see what the short codes are that are available to the theme, and if you had the theme for over 12 to 18 months, you need to upgrade it anyway. Let me check on responsiveness for the theme real quick. Very good. So it's responsive, so it can't be that old. I don't think you would need to revamp this. I think it would be something if somebody made a copy of this website, they could create and design each individual page, or you could have somebody design each of the elements and give you the elements and allow somebody that knows how to pull images out of a sliced PSD file. You could have them use the themes, editing functions, as well as the short codes to be able to design that as well. So there's two ways to do it. You either are coding your theme from scratch. For example, Get Fit with Barbie, we actually used a pre-made theme, and we modified the theme with our design graphics. However, if you look at a more complicated site such as Barbara Gilbert, this is 100% custom designed theme by us. So the good part is as WordPress upgrades and makes its changes, we're managing our own upgrades to the theme, whereas what most of the time happens is somebody buys a theme from WordPress, WordPress continues to upgrade, Google changes, WordPress changes. The theme designer, you have to think about how they make their money. They make their money designing a theme and selling it for $45 or $65 a pop to people, selling the documentation, possibly some support. As technology changes, for example, WordPresses are no longer designed using HTML5 and some of the older methods of mobile theme previews and blog previews. Now they're actually all designed with responsive style sheets and all the CSS. So the designer actually stops updating and upgrading their old themes that they sell. They leave them out there. They make some money as people who may not know are going to continue to buy them, but the designer is no longer supporting that theme. They're working on a new theme or a new framework. So best guidelines with any WordPress site is if your theme is 12 to 18 months or older, replace the theme, and at that point you can do some custom design work as well. Very good. A couple weeks ago, Mary, for you, we had it was 2 sessions ago. So if you get with Kathy and get the video training from 2 sessions ago, we went through the process beginning to end from creating the design brief all the way through a rebuild and a redesign, or excuse me, a redesign and a rebuild of a site. That would be a great session for you to be prepped and ready if you guys want to check that out. Get with Kathy, or it should be up on 12-Step Roadmap. It was 2 weeks ago's session, and that would be a great starting place for that as well. If you guys, just let me throw this out there. If you're going to go theme shopping, the way to go is to go to Theme Forest if you want to go look for a theme. Configuring a theme and using all of its functionality are 2 different things. Also, themes tend to come with lots of breaks and so forth, so make sure you have a really good coder that's sitting behind it. Your individuals you need to be able to get this done is someone that's on the server side, a designer, which is only a graphics designer, and conversion expert, hopefully, someone that's on the creative side, your developer, your SEO engineer, your social media engineer, your video production person, and whoever's doing the mobile aspect of it. So for this theme, this is a good layout, blended learning, teachers, blended learning students. Really, the thing is, when you're looking at a theme, when you buy a theme and you install it, it's blank. There's nothing there. So it really, the theme is, when you're evaluating a theme, it's what is the capabilities of the theme for an owner who knows how to use all of the different bells and whistles that are built-in custom page type, object-oriented code, knows how to use short codes, page layout editors, CSS editors, sliders, parallax. Inside a theme, a coder is going to build a ton of different functionality, and it's designed so a consumer can come in and learn how to use it. That's one way to go about it. That's exhausting. I'm going to say, for me, 5 years ago when we had our web company, every time a new client came in, we picked a new theme and we had to learn it. just the process of buying the theme, reading the documentation, learning how all the functionality works in that theme, identifying what all the breaks are, what plugins are not compatible with it, identifying what makes things break, and so forth. That process alone was worth the fee that we paid for actually designing and developing the site. It was brutal. It was very exhausting. So for a consumer who's not technical to go grab a theme and try and learn all of the elements, to me, that's very difficult. What we tend to do is we design first. We design based on your customer base, what they need, what you sell, your products, your services, and what their functionality is. And we build a theme that's specifically coded to the functionality you need. So you don't have tons of bloatware, which is all the weighted stuff that's built into a theme. If you talk to a really smart developer, they might be mad at WordPress. They might say WordPress is garbage. If you talk to an extremely smart developer, they're going to say WordPress is brilliant, just stay away from all the dumb developers' themes, simply because they're built heavy. They have a lot of things in them that you don't need. The heavier your website, especially in a WordPress environment, if you have a lot of content going, the slower your load times, the worse your performance is going to be, and you're more susceptible to a lot of viruses and codes. And this has taken us years and years to learn. So the lighter weight your theme can be, meaning only develop what you need that's necessary for your particular business and scrap the rest. You don't need those thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code. You're going to be in a much better position long term. And then it's easier to build in another module if you want to build in an event system or you want to build in an e-commerce system. That's going to be simple to be able to add on. So you wind up with a lightweight theme, great for performance, great for SEO, and you stay away from all these $35 themes that tend to be exhausting. But again, if you were to purchase this theme, as soon as you hit install, all you have is a white space. Configuring the theme with the design elements, the images, the graphics, the icons, that's really what brings a theme to life. Themes look pretty when they're all built out and they have all of those things in there, but what makes a website gorgeous is not the theme. It's the design elements, the images, the graphics, the icons, and the content that gets put inside it. So, I am now over my time. Well, normally it's set for an hour, but we're going 43 minutes today. I hope this information is valuable. Please feel free to invite friends or colleagues to check out recorded sessions. Most of the feedback I get is from everybody watching the recorded sessions. You guys are fantastic. Enjoy your day. I'm going to go sit on the deck and have a conference call back to back to back until it's time to bring out a fish. Thank you guys. Have a great day.